Potter joining us, second season as the offensive coordinator. Has been on the staff since 2022 and, of course, was an All-American offensive tackle here from 2008 to 2011. So, Nate, as we look back to year one heading into year two, what did you learn about being an offensive coordinator last season you think is going to help you this year?
Yeah, I think there's so many parts to that question, Bob. I learned so much. A big piece of it is just the experience, doing it, being in those moments, good and bad, learning from those situations, receiving that feedback from my peers, from the players, from people around me, and trying to implement that, each and every day since the season and just continue to grow. So definitely not the same person I was last year, but that's how it always should be, always trying to grow and get better.
How much of your time as the offensive coordinator is spent working with players, trying to improve them, versus looking at game plans, looking at strategy, looking at...
I think it's a unique role because you're really doing both. Ultimately, you're in charge of the strategy, of the game plan, of the offense, and how we do good or bad, right? That's my responsibility. But in order to do the things we want to do, accomplish things we want to accomplish, you got to see that development within each player, within each coach and position group, and so you got to be involved in that aspect too. And I think that's what makes the position so much fun.
How would you define or express your overall feel for your scheme? Is it run heavy, pass heavy, explosive, or just steady chip?
Yeah, no, I think. Number one, I think the DNA of who we are offensively is not changed for a long time at Boise State.
Okay.
It's in order to win football games, be a championship team, you have to be able to control the line of scrimmage with your front.
Sure.
You got to be able to run the football, and you have to be explosive. And those are kind of the main aspects of what we're trying to accomplish offensively. And you can do that a lot of different ways. But at the end of the day, that's what allows you to win games, and that's the most important piece. And I think the biggest thing that we're working on right now offensively is that consistency piece. At times last year we beat ourselves too much. We took too many negative plays. When we were bad, we were really bad.
Right.
And it's becoming more consistent, but still staying in that world of how explosive can we be and can we run to win when we need to.
Was it too much thinking then, or just not attention to detail?
I think it's both.
Okay.
I think it's both. I think when you're struggling as an offense, I think you're missing details.
Okay.
That's a big part of it, and confidence piece too.
Right.
And that's the lack of focus. So I think that's what we're building right now. It's what we started this winter, is how do we continue to gain confidence, to coach those details better, to improve individually as players and coaches so we can be our consistent best week in and week out.
Nate, you talk about to be able to run the football. And the time I've been here, you were on first team I was on that I was the broadcaster for. Always really good offensive line, good running backs run the football. What's the difference when you're coming up with a game plan when you have one guy like a Genti or an Ajayi where you're going to feed that one guy 98% of the carries versus when you have two or three running backs you're trying to work in?
I think game plan is very similar because what you do as far as your scheme doesn't change a whole lot depending on the running back. Ashton can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot more what does everybody else do really well around him. And with the position we're in right now, our running back room is fantastic. We got a lot of talented players. We got experience. So it's figuring out what they do best, getting them in position to be successful, and making sure that's within our scheme and what we do well offensively as a group. But yeah, it's an important piece, and like I said, we're very fortunate that we've had really good running backs here for a long time.
You speak to consistency, and one of the frustrations that fans have had post-game, they want more consistency from receivers.
Yeah.
They want more consistency from, as far as those completions go. What do you got?
I think right now, I've been telling everybody today, this is the most depth we've had in the wide receiver room in a long time.
Okay.
And I love how hungry that room is. I love how competitive that room is. So I think that's going to drive that consistency piece because those guys are hungry. They want to show what they can do, and they're very, very talented, and that leads to being a balanced offense. That leads to explosive plays.
Nate Potter joining us here at Bronco Football Media Days. Nick Wade, Bronco Nation updates.
Yeah, Coach, I'm going to take a shot in the dark because we don't have Coach Keene here, but replacing the NFL draft pick like Cage Casey at left tackle and an experienced center like Mason Randolph isn't simply replacing talent, it's replacing thousands of snaps.
Right.
Where do Tyler Etheridge, Kyle Cox, Dalen Matoyer, Stuart Tuafa, and Roger Carrion stand entering into fall camp?
Yeah, I think when you're talking about replacing those critical positions, Tyler Etheridge, I've been telling everybody, is somebody we all need to be aware of and watch because he is extremely talented, and I think he's done such a good job stepping foot in the facility when he first got here this winter and just going straight to work and building relationships and being all in. So I'm really excited about what he's going to do and what he's able to do. And then the center position, a guy like Stu, who's a young guy, that's kind of part of the process, the offensive line. You gotta work your way into it, and then you got to gain the experience. You got to play those snaps, but he's all about football. He's very smart. He's very tough. I love the way he plays, so I'm excited about him too. And a guy like Roger, he's the heart and soul of that group. He's got so many snaps for us. I mean, I can't say enough great things about Raj, and there's competition everywhere. A lot of those positions on the offensive line, and like all rooms, that's what you want because that makes everybody better. Very excited about the new guys in that room, the up-and-comers in that room, and just where it's at right now overall.
I'm uber focused on Oregon. Just game one, and I know you guys are extremely focused on Oregon. How do you prepare for a team like Oregon, and what are your besides overall victory? What are you hoping for?
Yeah, preparation for game one in general doesn't start the week before. It started, in January for us. And then when you're playing a very, very talented team like that, you got to make sure that we're playing to our standards. We're putting our best foot forward. We're playing our game, and you got to have your best players play that way. They got to be your best guys in those games. So part of what we're doing this summer is in preparation for that, is how they've been growing with their chemistry in the skill positions in the quarterback room, how they've been growing in the weight room. All those things play into it. But there's always a preparation piece for a first game, whether it's Oregon or anybody else, where it's going to be months in advance. You're looking ahead, trying to start that process. But also it takes that improvement, that development piece, in order to get to that point. And I don't want to. We're trying to do our best in every game. I don't want to say something I'm not supposed to say. I'll let Coach Danielson do that. Okay. But right now, as a team and as an offense, we're focused on the present moment and what are we doing today? Are we living with championship habits today in this present moment, and can we stack those days up into game one?
Who was better overall, you or Richie Brockle? Overall, because nobody wants to criticize Richie, and I'm going to find somebody down. What is? Yeah. What? You. By the way, this will be played at some point during Bronco game day as well.
I would say.
Is he lucky? Was that it? He's just got lucky a bunch?
I would say what separates Richie from most is he got more out of his talent than anybody I've ever seen, because he had some weaknesses. He's not the most talented guy.
What are his weaknesses? I want to know.
Stiff and slow, I think.
Okay, very good. Very good.
He would tell you that.
Richie Brockle, stiff and slow. Good.
But he had a way better NFL career than I did, so I can't say anything on that front. But I think that's what makes him different is he got the most, and he gets the most out of anything he does.
Coach Potter, thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
More getting ready for Bronco football from Bronco Media Days next on News Talk KBOI.